In order to solve literal equations, you have to know which letter you're solving for. For the first one, we're getting x by itself. So what you want to do is you want to take your finger and cover up the x. Well, there's nothing extra over there. So this is 6 times x. So the opposite of times is divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. So I get g over 6 equals top cancels with bottom, x. So now the x is by itself. You have your answer, g over 6. For the next one, it's more than just a 2x. There's something extra. So if you take your finger and cover up the 2x, it tells you what you need to deal with first. We have to get rid of a negative 2. You always get rid of things by doing opposites. So the opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. So I'm going to add 2 to each side. So u plus 2, you can't put those together because they are not like terms. So all you can do with that is write it down. Bring down the equals, 2x. Opposites cancel. And again, we are solving for x for this one. Okay, this is 2 times x. The opposite of times is divide. So we divide each piece by 2. Now u over 2 doesn't simplify, so you got to leave that part alone. Plus 2 divided by 2 is 1 equals top cancels with bottom, x. X is by itself, so you have your answer. U over 2 plus 1 equals x. The next one, I'm getting x by itself. So you take your finger and cover up the x and everything attached to it. We have to get rid of a positive m. The opposite of positive m is negative m, so I'm going to subtract m from both sides. So z minus m, you just write it down like it is. You can't combine them. Opposites cancel. Now this is like a negative 1x. So the quickest way to get rid of a negative 1 in front of a letter that you're solving for is just to change all the signs. So the opposite of positive z is negative z. The opposite of negative m is positive m equals, and the opposite of negative 1x is positive 1x. So you have your answer. It's the same as multiplying or dividing by negative 1. The next one, I want the a by itself. So this is c times a. The opposite of times is divide. So divide both sides by c. I have g over c equals, top cancels with bottom, a. The next one I'm solving for x. So I take my finger and cover up the x. I have to get rid of a negative k. The opposite of negative k is positive k. So you have to put a positive k on both sides. U plus k, just write down what you see, equals, bring down your x, opposites cancel, x is by itself.
Mr. Black now, if you...
This next one we are solving for x. So you take your finger and cover up the x. We have to get rid of a positive c. The opposite of positive c is negative c. So I'm going to put a negative c on both sides. The g minus c, just write it down like it is. Bring down your equal. Opposites cancel. Bring down the x. And x is all by itself. Okay, anytime you have a fraction, I don't even really look for what I'm solving for until I get rid of the fraction. You get rid of a fraction by multiplying by the denominator. So I want to multiply each term by a. So u times a is ua equals top cancels with bottom, k. That's why we got multiplied by the denominator, because we just got rid of the fractions. So now we want a by itself. So this is u times a. The opposite of times is divide, so divide both sides by u. A equals k over u. And that one's done. Okay, this next one, this is x times c. The opposite of times is divide, so divide both sides by c. Top cancels with bottom. Finished. Okay. I'm solving this next one for a. So I have a 12 times a times m. So I want to divide. The opposite of multiply is divide. I want to divide everything except for the a. So I'm going to divide by a 12. and an m, but if you divide one side by 12 and m, you have to divide the other side by 12 and m. So 12 cancels with 12, m cancels with m, so we have an a left. Now this, you're still going to have an m in the denominator in your answer, but 4/12 can simplify. You can divide both of those by 4. So 4/12 reduces down to 1/3. So a equals 1/3m. This next one, I am solving for x. So I'm going to take my finger and cover up the x and everything stuck with it. We have to get rid of a positive 2c. The opposite of positive 2c is negative 2c. So I'm going to subtract 2c from each side. Bring down the negative 3x. Opposites cancel, equals. Just write this down. You can't do anything else to combine those. Okay, this is negative 3 times x, so the opposite of times is divide. So divide each piece by negative 3. Top cancels with bottom. X equals negative 3 divided by negative 3 is a positive 1. This next one, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And 2c over 3 doesn't simplify, so you leave it like it is. Okay, this next one I'm solving for a. So this is a times m. So the opposite of times is divide. You have to divide each piece by m. So top cancels with bottom. A equals n over m, it doesn't simplify, plus p over m. That doesn't simplify either, but you do have the a by itself. The next one, I'm not even going to look at what I'm solving for yet because I need to get rid of the denominator, the b. So you multiply each term by b. So you have ub equals top cancels with bottom, ak. Now I'm solving for a, so that's a times k. The opposite of times is divide. Divide each piece by k. So I have ub over k equals a because top cancels with bottom. Okay, the next one, I take my finger and I cover up the a because that's what I'm solving for. So I need to get rid of a negative c. The opposite of negative c is positive c, so I'm going to add c to each side. So I have my a, opposites cancels, d minus r plus c. Nothing else you can do with it. You could put it in alphabetical order if you would like. Okay, this is x times m. The opposite of times is divide. I'm trying to get x by itself, so you divide by what's with it. Top cancels with bottom. X equals np over m.